Hey guys, what's going on? You're listening to the Bitter Juries podcast. This is episode 11, and none of us here are blindsided tonight because we're here to talk about it. My name is Kelly.
I'm Jacob.
Hey, my name's Lucifer.
And I totally spaced before you intro us more, Jacob. This is for Big Brother Canada 6.
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot that. I was probably too busy laughing. Let's go ahead. Go ahead and start us off, Jacob.
All right. So we have what I'd like to call an action-packed episode to talk about tonight. I think what we'll do is we'll start talking about some of the conversations pre-veto. What jumped out to you guys? What was more of the same? We'll start with you, Kelly. What jumped out to you pre-veto?
I think, and unfortunately, because I had to step in and out because I had a plumber in the first part of the episode, the biggest thing that I noticed was that Marin was just really annoying me, and that he was talking about how he was excited to be nom because it meant that he finally got to prove himself, and it's just like, okay, Marin, come on. If you're playing Big Brother, that is one way to prove yourself, but you've had many opportunities up until this point to be able to prove yourself. So the fact that now you're excited to do this, it solidified for me that he's going to continue to be a floater and probably the potential pawn throughout the season until they don't need him anymore.
Right. So you didn't buy the happy-go-lucky act that he's
No,
blessed
I
to
did
be there?
buy that.
Okay.
I did buy that, and that's my problem with him is that he needs to be more aggressive in this game, and because he's not going to be getting anywhere. So That's pretty disappointing. I mean, we all kind of started to see this coming. What do you guys think?
I mean, at least
I definitely. Oh, so sorry.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I disagree with the fact that he won't go anywhere because, as we've seen from the history of Big Brother, people like the Marin archetype, which is very Jen and very the floater type-esque type of game players, and I feel like he not coming aggressive in this nomination might actually do him some favors, and he'll just be able to coast off. I mean, it's not a good strategy to be a coaster or a floater, but at this point, I mean, he's not seen as a target, so he's getting closer to that 500 or whatever the hell they get paid.
Well, the 100 Canadian.
The 100, excuse me.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. Marin to me is, if I had to recast everybody, Marin to me is the pencil. He deserves the pencil designation. He doesn't do anything special for me. He's just there to fill a spot, and it makes me a little bit sad. I am glad that he's so happy to be nominated. I'm glad for him that he's having that experience, but it just makes for not very. It doesn't ring true to me. If you're in the Big Brother house, you should be there to play. In my thinking, am I wrong in that?
No, absolutely not. And that's, man, I got so distracted, but I definitely I agree that when you show up or when you're in the house, you should be there to play, and that's why. When you compare him to Jen City, Lou, I think that was kind of my point as well. Jen, yeah, she got close to it, but she was never actually she was never going to be a contender for the game, for the final prize. And so that's what I'm seeing is going to be happening with Marin as well. He's going to be going down the same path. So that's why I'm just that's why it was really frustrating. To see him be all happy-go-lucky about being nominated and finally being able to prove himself, because it's you've had all these opportunities beforehand. So why couldn't you have done something? Why does it have to be a nomination? I get the strategy of not being pissed, showing that, oh, hey, I'm not pissed that I'm nominated, it happens, but it doesn't seem like a strategy. It just more seems like a genuine reaction, rather than him playing the game.
Yeah,
absolutely. I definitely agree with that.
He seems to be the kind of guy that views everything in life as a blessing, which is great for him, but it can be kind of annoying to when you have to deal with that personality type because nothing ever gets to them. So it's sort of non-human in a way. So I wonder if that's a front for him to sort of get away from any sort of emotion in the game. But I feel like we've covered enough of Marin pre-veto. Let's move on to somebody slightly more interesting. Let's talk about Maddie and what she was like pre-veto and the conversation she had. I thought she had some really interesting conversations and we got some really interesting insight into her strategy through the diary rooms. What did you guys think?
I mean, Maddie's in my draft. You have to understand this. So, of course, I'm happy that Erica took her off the block. I know we're not as far as there, but it just, for me, it just seems Maddie just doesn't do it for me. She doesn't do it for me. I feel like even her logic to stay in the house is so scattered and so all over the place. It's just not as consistent, but she does make really good points. It's like she makes really good points, and then she's very weak when it comes to game talk, and I just feel like she doesn't show. She's talking about her and Veronica being or her and Erica being the two strongest females. Girl, no. Like, the two strongest females are Erica and Veronica right on that block. And then if you talk about females socially, Kayla and Paris outshine Maddie on a social aspect and a strategic aspect any day. So for me, I'm just kind of like, I don't think she gave me what I needed. I would honestly Maddie would be the type of player where I would just want to get rid of her because she'd want to get closer to the end, personally, if I was in the game.
Okay. What about you, Kelly? What do you think about Maddie's take, sort of pre-veto, like the sort of emotional, like, I'm gonna play up my emotions and see how this works for me, and if that doesn't work, I'm gonna do something else. What do you think of her approach to those sort of conversations?
I really like that she was really she showed throughout this episode and the last episode that she's kind of been adaptable. So she's throwing out all these different strategies, seeing what sticks, which is pretty cool. I'm kind of on the same page as Lou, where I don't necessarily see her as a super strong player. Like I wouldn't put her at the top of the females, how she's trying to portray herself as. But I do think that she has a really good perception on Erica, where she knows that Erica really values the strong, independent female. And so she recognizes that she needs to play that up. So I think that's why we were seeing that more in the episode. So I really appreciated Maddie's ability to adapt to the HOH to try to get her to come in and try to be in her corner for a little bit, which it seemed to, spoiler alert for the end of the episode, it seemed to work out for Maddie pretty well. But I do, I think that she's just saying these things. I don't know. I mean, she's saying them, she might believe them, but I don't think it fully reflects on what reality is, kind of like what Lou was saying.
Right. And I will say that I was actually very, very, very impressed with how she adapted to the HOH. I think that is probably the strongest part of her game, is she's able to sort of adapt to.
Can you elaborate on that? What do you mean? Because I want to see it, but I just don't. And you have to understand, I watch all the highlights on the feeds.
Yeah,
I just don't.
So I'll go back a week or a couple of weeks when Ryan was HOH. What she did was she engaged with him in all the game talk he wanted to talk, because he wanted to talk about how much he knew about the game, and she was like, yeah.
But so did Erica to an extent.
No, I know, but what I'm saying is we see a consistent theme with Maddie of, I'm going to adapt to whoever the HOH is to try to be in their good graces and to try to get myself out of trouble when I get there. And I think that's a very, very underappreciated quality of a human being, to realize where you are at all times in the house and to sort of be the chameleon that is going to be able to have all of these conversations. And yeah, I think that's probably one of her strongest characteristics. I don't think that she's necessarily going to make it very far. I think she's very much double eviction bait. But I think, for what it's worth, I think she's played a very, very clean game. I don't think it's very sloppy at all. And when she probably goes out in the double eviction, she can look back at her time in the house and so that she really gave it her all.
I would also add on that really quick as another example of pre-Vita or the nomination ceremony. She was making these veiled threats of, hey, if you put me up, you're going to make this target that you don't want. And then post Veto or post nominations, when she's talking to Erica, it seemed like she recognized that wasn't a good idea, and so she dropped that. So that's like another example of her being more adaptable, which in this game, that's like the best trait that you can have is adaptability.
Yeah, absolutely. She's proven herself to me to be a sort of a chameleon in that sense. Like she because it's very quick that adaptation. Like she was able to drop the "I'm gonna compete with you" persona immediately after after being nominated, which is.
What were you gonna say, Lou?
Oh, I'm just trying to figure it all out. I just don't see it. I really don't. I think in order to be a chameleon to a sense, you have to sort of go in with, or even to have adaptability, you have to be unnoticed to a sense. And I feel like everyone notices Maddie's game. It's not so bad where everyone's talking about Allie making final. Allie is like the Cassandra, where everyone thinks that she's in a final 2 or an alliance. Like that's why Allie's game is kind of out there. But Maddie is more like, she goes around and she slides with, like, everyone sees her as like slithering into their conversations. So I don't really see her like being a chameleon, like an Andy Heron, where she gets away with it. Like everyone knows what she's doing. So I just don't see it so much. But I mean, maybe it's just something that I need to watch more, pay attention to more. But I just, at this point in time, I feel like Maddie, even with talking to Erica and talking to Houseguest, she was just throwing a bunch of facts and a bunch of things. And it was like whatever. She was just saying so much. So whatever stuck kind of stuck. It wasn't really much.
Yeah. I don't necessarily think that I'm comparing, like I'm calling her like an Andy Heron. And I do get what you're saying. Like, I don't think that she's going to the point where she's going to notice, because obviously she's on the block and like people are talking about her. But I just mean like in the short-term game, she's being really adaptable, and so that's what I really liked seeing from her, and it seems to be consistent. Whether or not it's necessarily helping her, like she's adaptable to the point where it won't make her a target, that's probably not the case. But at least she has something going for her.
Right. I think when we talk about Maddie, I think it's very important to realize that I don't think that she's a target of her own doing, but a target of circumstance, right? She wanted to go into the house and get into a showmance, and nobody was having it. And then these predetermined clicks sort of happened, and she found herself a little bit on the outside. And so what she's had to do is she has to aggressively sort of be whatever anybody else wants her to be, so she can't be an Andy Heron, because Andy was just the happy-go-lucky guy who everybody loved talking to and cuddling with. Yeah, absolutely. And and she doesn't have that advantage because she doesn't have the relationships that Andy made right off the bat. But yeah, so I mean, I think she's doing the best with what she has, but I think she's probably double eviction bait on tomorrow. Wow.
Woo! It's gonna be exciting.
Double eviction.
I'm so excited for that. Let's talk about. Yeah, let's move on to the actual veto competition. What did you guys think of this competition? What did you guys think of how lopsided it was? And
what do you mean lopsided?
I mean that that Erica had it in the bag, and she like did everything she could to sort of throw it, then realized she couldn't.
Okay, I want to point something out on that point. Like, no, she had the opportunity to throw it in the the first half of the competition where there were still 6 people. Like, she had the opportunity to go slower than. I get once she got to the second part, and she was obviously killing it with the rolling, and she was like falling correctly, and she was somersaulting down. Like, yeah, that one, it was for her. But if she had truly wanted to throw it, she had the opportunity to do so. And that really frustrated me, where she's like, oh man, I have the opportunity to throw it, but I'm always like, I'm competitive, so I just let it get the best of me. And now I'm upset that I have it, because in the second part, I'm not able to easily throw it. Like, no, that just is an example of she needs to commit. Because since she didn't commit, now she's stuck in a position where she's winning more and more competitions. That's what I have to say about that. So I disagree. I don't think that it was super lopsided. I think that she let her competition spirit or competitive spirit get the best of her.
All right. Lou, what do you have to say?
Honestly, God, not too much, really. I mean, I don't know. We need a coup d'etat in this game.
Yeah. So, what I totally agree with what you're saying, Kelly. That she could have thrown it, in the early part of the competition. She could have and should have gotten herself tangled in the ropes and kind of played dumb a little bit, because that's the spot in the comp where she could have made it look less obvious, and thrown the competition. But again, she's just this comp beast who can't help herself. Do you think that is a strength to her game, or is it going to be a detriment?
It's probably, I think it's going to be a long-term detriment. Like, she's going to get to a point, like, if she continues, you disagree, but...
No, I don't disagree. I just don't understand, like, just... You know, Olivia in that challenge, I'm so sorry to cut you off, Kelly.
No, it's okay.
In that
Go
challenge,
ahead.
you know what Olivia reminds me of? Of Kathy in the POV, where she's just like in all of the molasses, and she's like, oh,
Yeah.
And like, how the hell hard was that challenge? Honestly, I mean, gosh, I just don't get it. Especially at that last stage, they just had to roll like over, like it just. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
understand.
you saw her falling.
Was Olivia throwing it? I mean,
no, she
I don't think she was.
It, guys.
Yeah, I genuinely don't think that she was throwing it. I think that she wanted to win it, and they both had a really terrible falling strategy, and I think that she's not as in shape as people are suggesting that she is. Like, you have to be good to be like a marathon runner, but at the same time, like, I don't know.
I mean, but that was miserable watching Erica try to throw that. She was just kind of like, "Come on, guys!" Like, it was just when
I'm gonna fake throw up for 5 minutes.
Right, exactly. Even when she would get through that sort of like, what was it, like that spindle thing, she would sort of she'd get up and she'd like do like some maneuvers, do her hair, just to give her like an extra,
do her ponytail like 72 times,
like an extra time, like just to like, girls, are you here? Or like, what the hell? It's really sad, actually, and I think that people need to take into the account, like, it's not Erica that's the beast, it's the people that she was in the competition with. I mean, and I think it's so unfair for people to throw out like, oh God, you're a threat because you've won 4 competitions. It was like, okay, excuse me, I was in Veto with freaking 3 incoherent people. Like, of course I'm gonna win that. Like, back to back. Like, you know what I'm saying? I don't think it's really fair, especially because I don't think anyone stood a chance against Erica, and it was just the luck of the draw. It wasn't even her fault.
Yeah, let's talk very briefly about a moment that I thought was hilarious. We saw Ryan get drawn for this competition, and then he took like a 5-minute smoke break in the middle of the comp. What did you get? Like, do you think Ryan should try harder in these comps that he's clearly not interested in?
No.
No?
Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, like,
honestly,
Ryan,
no.
Yeah.
Why? Like, why? Like, I would be comfortable like keeping Ryan for the next, like on a game perspective, keeping him for the next 3 weeks just to get him out in another, like, he doesn't need to be backdoored. He can't win a veto. Like,
yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Kelly, I'm sorry.
No, it's all good. Like, seeing Ryan and where he ended up stopping, like, he knew that this comp wasn't built for him. And I think through Ryan's head, he's like, why? I'm not really going through any trouble right now. Like, why should I overexert myself for this, for a position that I'm probably not even going to get? Like, it's probably just not worth it for me to do this. And so I get why he stopped.
Yeah. It was just funny to watch. I agree with both.
No, it's super. It was pretty funny.
That was one of the very few moments this season where I literally like laughed watching it because like you just knew that was gonna happen. You knew as soon as you saw what the comp was that he couldn't hang. You know.
Yes, definitely.
All right.
Oh man.
We see Erica sort of beast this competition. Whether or not she should have is up for debate. But what happens afterward is quite interesting. Kelly, why don't you take the lead on this? On the conversation leading up to the veto, and then the veto meeting itself.
Oh man, what happened? So basically, from what I remember from the episode, is that we focus on Johnny for a little bit, which was
Yep.
kind of nice.
Mhm.
Seeing him like in the episodes, because he hasn't really been there ever since he won HOH and Veto on the first week, and it's nice to see a little bit of character development for him. The fact that we haven't seen him for this long, like I mentioned last time, really bodes well for him. I have a feeling that he's going to be staying really safe for this like upcoming double eviction tomorrow.
I love you, Johnny.
Then after that, did you guys have anything that you wanted to add for that point?
I just wanted to say I loved slash hated the moment between Johnny and Allie where Johnny is like, I can't wait to turn into this devil and like unleash my negative energy on the house. Like that like I loved it from a entertainment standpoint, but why would you ever say that in even with a friend to because it raises his profile a little bit. That would make me kind of go like, wait, this guy that's been sitting here for this long is now it has some sort of inner energy in him that he hasn't released yet, and I'd be kind of nervous about it. You know that
That's
he's
a really good point, Jacob. It's
he's
a really
gonna
good
Yeah.
point.
he's gonna start to want to make moves, and I don't really know where his head's at because he didn't even really say. He says I want to get all these people without even naming who they were to make me think that anyone's
And let's
safe.
be real, when it comes to the alliance of him, Erica, Allie, I mean, and Olivia, he's definitely on the bottom of that. He's the last. I mean, he's first. If they're a final four, he's the first out, no question.
Yeah, what'll be interesting is if they can actually make that happen. I think that if it got down
Well,
to
I mean, I think that he realizes that he's the bottom of the totem pole, so maybe
yeah.
he should be more careful, probably.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say stuff like that to Allie 'cause she's got one of the biggest mouths in the house. She's gonna tell him if
And
she wants to
Allie is,
if she wants to
yeah.
tell the story to anybody, she's gonna talk about how Johnny just like woke up and turned into some sort of demon.
And if there's anything, that I've realized from watching the feed is Allie is not someone to be slept on. She is very much a very strategic player. That is her go-to. That's where she's strong at, and she's very good at the social aspect as well. And clearly, from what we saw a couple of HOHs ago, she almost came in. She came in second in a comp. She almost won it. So Allie's definitely a player to look out for sure. She's impressing me every time I watch her game. So
Yeah, we
Do
did
you
get
think
a.
that?
Go
Sorry,
ahead, Kelly. Yeah.
I was gonna say, do you guys think that she'll probably be targeted first if people, because people have picked up that Olivia and Allie, they're kind of like they haven't said it yet, I think, but they're kind of a package deal, right?
Yeah, right.
right.
Do you think that Allie will probably be the first go between the two of them?
No, I think
Really?
since Olivia was the early target, it's just easier socially in terms of social capital to get Olivia out first.
Or even Erica because she's the biggest comp win now. So I think that Allie has opportunity to hide between her closest allies.
Yeah,
Good.
but yeah, between the two of them, I would say that definitely, um, Olivia is the easiest takedown because she was an early target.
Olivia's the easiest, and then Erica's the biggest. So it's like that's where Allie sits right in the middle of that. So
And that's where you want to be in your alliance. You don't want to be on the ends. You want to be
exactly
the sandwich, the PB and J,
Yeah,
if you will.
This brings up kind of an interesting point, and it doesn't really have to do with the episode, but I just wanted to sort of get you guys' thoughts on how important social capital is in the house, because I see social capital as like the primary driver of who is at the top of the house and the bottom of the house, like who can convince people of what they want. Who do you think is the best at sort of making sure that they have their moves go through, and who do you think is the worst so far? And do you guys think that's important?
So it definitely is important, like, because if it's not important, then, or if you don't have it, then you're stuck basically just comping out for the entire season. Otherwise, you're not going to make it. Otherwise you'll be an instant target, which that's what we saw with Dimitri's last season on BB Cam 5, was that it was like between him and Kevin, they were like Demetrius from the very beginning, he was basically having a comp out throughout the entire thing with Ika as his social capital. But as for the like who is doing the best right now, I would probably say Erica has a pretty good one, considering that not many people knew who she was going to nom to begin with. Maybe I don't know. Who else do you guys think?
I would have to say Erica is definitely a good one. And I would definitely have to say, let's see. I would say Erica, Johnny, Paris, and Hamza.
Yeah, I would say Erica, Johnny, Hamza, and Paris in that order. Because I think Hamza is so insane that he scares the pants off of everybody, but is kind of fun to be around, which is an important quality in the Big Brother house. Like he's a little bit of a clown. He's a little bit Dr. Will-esque in the way that like he just says crazy stuff that makes him endearing. Like
yeah, but wasn't he one of the main people who was trying to keep Rosina in the very first week? Him and Andrew, right? Yeah. And that didn't. I know that it's like week 1, so that's like way like months ago in the Big Brother house. Mm-hmm. But I don't know. I don't know if I would necessarily put Hamza up there as one of the people that like has a strong pull. Like who does he have a lot of control over? That's what I'm wondering.
So. I don't look at social capital as control. I'm looking at it like they can have conversations. So like he has Erica, who's willing to listen to him. He's got Veronica willing to listen to him. He's got Ryan who loves him for some reason. He's got, the only person that I don't see him ever really interacting with on the feeds is Johnny. He talks game with pretty much everybody else, but his game is very simple. His game talk is very much, let's beast this, guys. Like he doesn't have to get really far in depth. Everybody just respects like that he's, for the lack of a better term, balls to the wall, in terms of his gameplay. And I think that gains him a lot of access to people that he wouldn't normally have access to, because people will worry like what happens when he gets HOH, so I don't want to be a target. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that makes sense. And I like that you kind of define that more as like people that you could talk to, rather than people that you could have control over.
Right.
That definitely, like, that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, because I think like controlling people in the Big Brother house is a little bit dangerous. Generally. Well,
when I say control people, I mean more like they can be easily persuaded by you,
right?
Like Dr. Will or Dan,
right? Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of, and so I was having kind of a difficult time thinking of anyone other than like not to say that Erica has like the level that Dr. Will was or Dan, but I'd say that she's doing pretty well.
Yeah,
overall.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's talk about the veto meeting. Let's talk about
snap.
Let's talk about what happened in the veto meeting. Let's talk about the fact that Marin showed a little bit of like I was incredulous that when the veto was used, Marin thought the veto was going to be used on him. And he didn't put in any social work to make that happen at all. So like he sort of, I don't know if you guys noticed this, but when Erica said, "I'm going to use the veto," he like almost got up to accept.
I'll have to go back and rewatch that.
And then was like, shocked.
I will definitely take your word for it because that's what coasters do in the game. They just coast. So like, and it's really interesting because I feel like Maddie kind of knew that this was going to happen because I remember on the feed she said, "I don't want to push Erica too much because she had just won the veto. Mm-hmm. So, and we don't know, and I don't want to campaign because we don't know if there's a backdoor plan." And so I feel like Marin, on the other hand, had a total different strategy. He was just kind of like, "I'm going to talk all this game, and at the end of the day, I'm probably going to be taken off the block because I'm the biggest threat in the house." And I feel like personally, those are the people you need to get out Those are the people you need to get out, and
The
people don't
Marins?
understand. Yes, the Marins of the world. You need to get out the Marins because they are one step forward out of anyone. Before Dayla, before Paris, before Will, like Marin is a placement before you, you know, and I just think that people don't take that into consideration.
Oh, I get it.
Oh, gotcha.
Because he's a pawn. Like if you're up against
Right.
Marin, that means you're gonna go home.
Yeah.
Exactly, and that's a point that Maddie actually made to Erica. So maybe one of her many millions of points stuck with Erica. So
Yeah.
Oh man, this veto meeting was so interesting. Like so once Plur was put up there, which I already knew was going to happen, and in case you guys didn't know, I was kind of excited about it because from my understanding, she was blindsided, which was cool. And I heard that she might have been before the veto meeting. I heard that she might have been like still in her PJs, but then she obviously changed. Anyway, that aside. Erica's like renom speech, I thought that was pretty rough. Like
that was amazing. That was the best speech since Kevin said you're the baddest bitch in the house. I have to evict you. That was the best moment since that moment in this house.
Or since Cindy said, I have to put up Netta.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly.
Man.
Yes, I think that she hit it right on the head. And you know what the saddest part about it? The saddest part is not only did she tell Veronica, not only did she check Veronica, but the whole house clapped about it.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just, not only are you being shanked, but you're being shanked Jon Snow style, literally by every single person in the house. It was awful.
Sorry if you haven't caught up on Game of Thrones, guys, but it's a couple seasons back.
At this point, like if you don't know, you're choosing not to.
If you don't know Game of Thrones, don't associate yourself with me.
Oh man.
But also, we cannot talk about how awesome that was without talking about how terrible Plur's reaction was.
Oh my god, it's like it continues to be a testament to her gameplay. Like she just her going in and saying that she is going to fight. It's like, girl, like you didn't know you had literally no idea this was going to happen to you. I'm pretty sure that she wouldn't go after you unless she already knew that the votes were there and they weren't going to flip toward you. Like there is no fight. The fight is going to be seeing how many steps it takes for you to get out that door come tomorrow night. Man,
Well, this is my thing. Okay, Veronica, as annoying as she is, the house is going to be a lot quieter. The feeds are going to be a lot quieter.
I'm okay
and
with
you have
that.
to say that. I mean, I'm not, though. You have to say that meeting was just so cringy to watch.
That's spoiler, my friend.
Okay.
They're going to talk about that probably next episode.
Oh, okay, cool.
But
anyways,
any of the other, like even the last meeting.
A lot of things that Veronica does in her gameplay style is very sloppy.
Yeah.
So I think that she really needed to be prepared for this, and she probably was. I think that based on what I saw in the feeds, her trying to integrate herself more with Ali and Liv and Erica, I think that she saw this coming 100%.
Well, didn't Ali and Liv decide to try to do a fake game thing with her?
Yeah, which was stupid, by the way. I thought it was a waste of airtime. What did you guys think about that moment?
I mean, that was a waste of any time. I mean, yeah. Why do you do that?
Yeah, why would you have a fake game meeting where you don't say more than 3 sentences about nothing? I don't really understand what the point was of that. Did you get any meaning out of that, Kelly?
Not really, other than maybe, even though they didn't talk about this, maybe just if some miraculous reason she survives the double eviction and she's still here, that way they'll still be in her good graces somehow. Okay. I don't know why you would do it unless you're trying to unless you're bored and you're just okay, I need to do some type of gameplay that won't actually mess up my game. Right. So that's
everything Veronica does messes up her game. That's the problem with Veronica. That's why it's so love and hate with Veronica, because she's not. I mean, how did she even come in as an angel? And I love how I love how even the edit, when it's like previously on Big Brother, they're calling her like the Dark Angel or Clip the Angel's Wings or something. She's like, she's not even like I don't understand it. Like I thought she was like the good that came into the house. Like how has she all of a sudden been like the Hell's Angel? I don't
Yeah,
understand
so
this.
I think it's important, and I don't mean this as a personal attack to Plur, but I think it's very important to her gameplay when she comes in and she says, "Look, I used to be a bully, but now I'm all about peace, love, unity, and respect." And then she goes on to show none of that to any of her house guests. I think that's the reason why she's in trouble. I don't think it's really a game move. I think it's the fact that people actually don't like her.
Yeah, I
Um,
agree.
what do you
I
think,
mean,
Kelly?
especially, I mean, you have to think, because I mean, I see Kelly's frustration, and I'm not saying like trying to put it into a box where it's like it's a female sort of thing, but I mean, Veronica is very close with a lot of the guys in the house. She's extremely close, and one has to think, is she rubbing all of the girls the wrong way? Is that why she's in the predicament that she is?
I
Because I
don't.
mean, Paris seems to be cool with a lot of the guys as well. So Paris and Veronica seem to have that, and Erica as well. And I thought actually before this, Erica and Plur were very close, or not even close, but on game sense, okay.
Yeah, they were
So for
okay.
me, I have to think maybe it's the girls like Olivia and Allie and a little bit of Paris, that are kind of wedging what's going on right now.
Well, I know that with Erica, the reason why she put her up to begin with was because of the fake vote.
Yeah,
And I think that's really where the distrust started truly forming. And like on like a game level, the fact that like she lied about the vote and she continued to lie about the vote even though people saw straight through her.
right. She didn't and the fact of the matter is the way that she talked to people in the house rubbed everybody the wrong way. She I love the fact that Erica said you seem to think that you run this house, but I'm here to remind you that you don't, because the way that she went around was like, okay, look, this is what needs to happen. This is what effing needs to happen. This is what, and it was just like a constant reminder of this woman thinks that she runs the show, and she really doesn't know anything. She showed herself to be a very immature person, in my opinion, and a terrible game player.
Yeah, and we also saw that like with her thinking that she ran the show. Remember, when I think it was Hamza who won, and the one with the fruit veto or fruit HOH, and she gave it to Hamza, and then she's like, okay, since I gave it to you, like I get 50% of the votes, and she was very like assuming that she would be able to control who will be put up when it's like you guys never talked about that to begin with. So it's just it's a pattern that like we've seen throughout the weeks.
The feedsters did not like that one. That's for sure.
And we can't ignore the fact that this episode she told who was it? She told, I think it was Allie, that her and Hamza shared the HOH.
Oh snap! Did she say that? I didn't even realize that.
Was that this episode? I think so.
That could have been because I missed a small section, so that could have been it. Like just
which by the way that was never part of a deal. You didn't make the deal. Don't disrespect the game. Go home. I'm tired of her. Like
I'm so over her, and
I love you, Veronica.
Don't call me Veronica. I'm not interested.
Oh man,
honestly. Listen, you have to be appreciative that she's bringing something different to the game. She's a loud mouth.
I've seen that before, and I've liked better versions of it.
Okay, well, fine.
I get what you mean. I understand where you're coming from.
Currently, as of right now, I mean, she's bottom 4 on Jokers, so I mean, a lot of people are feeling the same way, the same animosity for her. I guess I just appreciate her more in the feeds because she's active. She's just active, where it's like, I'm sorry, I love Johnny, but as of right now, he's playing such a clean, chill game. I don't want to watch that right now. I want to watch Johnny like week 8, week 9. I don't want to watch Johnny week 4.
Right. I can respect that, and I understand the want for chaos. I just want better chaos.
We want chaos. We don't
So-
want Ryan. We don't want Ryan chaos, and we don't want Maddie chaos. We want other chaos.
Look, I want. Here's what I really want in my heart. I'm gonna make an admission. I want evil Dick in this house.
Oh, no.
I know it.
Yes,
can't
we
happen.
want evil Dick in every house. What are you talking about?
I know it can't happen, but the man played just. He was evil. He was great, and he played a fantastic game.
Are we going to get into this? Are we going to get into this right now?
No,
because I can wholeheartedly agree with that.
We're not getting into this. But
Because he's not.
With respect paid, I mean, Dick Donato is one of the best players in my personal opinion. So it's funny that like, you rate Will and you rate Dan, but people don't really take account what Dick did in the game, only because he's more old school. He's one of the old school players. He was season 8, so he's not as relevant to some people. But if you're in the history of the game, you realize exactly what Dick Donato does. And if I was in the game, as probably Jacob would know, I play a lot like Dick Donato. I mean, I'm a Dick Donato sort of, he has very sort of psychological strategies.
Donato. So,
well, I mean, like, okay, so since we're gonna be talking about this a little bit, my biggest problem with his gameplay is that he had, and I'm pretty sure he has yet to acknowledge that Eric had any help with him during BB8 as America's player. And it's just like, if you can't acknowledge that you were going to be going home, but the fact that Eric was the person who saved you.
Okay, like, Kelly. Okay, what about this? What about like so for instance, wait, just really quick, like how Rachel Riley, the Pandora's twist.
No, that's BS too. That is 100%.
But that's what happens. That's what Big Brother's about. I mean, we can sit there and say a bunch of twists that change the fate of the game. That was just and honestly, at least America had the power. Like America had the power to do so. So I feel like America had the power to save Dick, and they did. So he was playing favors on the feeds. That's the full round spectrum of the game.
Yeah,
so
but
anyways,
there's a difference. We'll talk about this later. We'll talk about this later.
But like, anyways, so the point that I was trying to make was that there is a level of respectable chaos, and then there's what Plur is doing, which is just a dumpster fire of.
I feel like the only person that we can compare in all seasons of Big Brother Canada 6 and the last seasons of Big Brother US, the only person we can compare to Dick Donato is Paul. That's it. Okay. Other than that, there is no archetype that has been Dick Donato-esque. It's just been Paul, because Paul was a freaking asshole, and he ran the game. He knew who had to go when. No doubt about it, Paul had a strong strategic game, and he knew who needed to go in what order. And that's the sense, even if you're allies with someone, I mean, that's the sense that you need to have. Who needs to go in what particular order? That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. I love players that create chaos, and I thought I was going to love Plur. I thought when she first started creating chaos, I was like, okay, I'm into this. I was watching the feeds. I was like, okay, it's time to create some fun in the house. But she just takes it to a level that isn't respected by the other players. So
agreed.
She seems to be doing like the most obviously stupid kinds of chaos, like that. Sorry, I'm thinking of that vote again, and it's never gone well for someone when they try to throw a vote, or like they try to vote and then try to put it on someone else of who would be the obvious person. Like people go and confront that person, and they'd be like, "Of course I didn't do that. Like it would obviously be me." I don't know.
Even Eric Stein couldn't get away with it.
Yeah.
So here's what, if you're gonna throw a rogue vote, here's what needs to happen. You need to do work pre the rogue vote to make sure that other people are suspicious that this person might not vote the way that they're saying they're going to vote.
That's a really good point, and she didn't do that.
No.
So that's why, I like that idea.
Anyways, I think we're going to talk about Veronica a lot more tomorrow, so moving on.
I'm gonna save some of my breath. Do
Oxygen.
any of you want to add anything else before we sign off and then argue more about Dick Donato off air?
Okay, I have a
Um,
question.
Okay.
So, would we consider Veronica being put up as a big move?
No.
Because that's what Erica's goal was. She kept saying that this is like she said that she was going to make a big move.
I wouldn't think it's a big move.
game.
It's a bold move. It's a bold move. It's not
I
big,
like
it's
that.
bold.
I like that. It's not a big move, it's a bold move because it is like it's someone that needs to get out, but
To rally a backdoor, even if it's against someone as useless as Ryan at this point or Marin, you have to orchestrate numbers, you have to orchestrate work, you have to have minions. So it's a bold move on my end. That's what I think. I'm sticking to it.
I think, and that's a very great point. I think it's a bold move. I will say this. I think it's a great move for Erica's game. I'm not willing to say that it's like a monster move and it's going to go down in the history of the greatest blindsides ever.
Yeah.
But it's a good move for Erica's game. So
getting Dayla or Johnny or Paris or Hamza, that would be a big move.
If you got Johnny this week, I would be out of my wheelchair standing clapping.
And not only that, but I would be cutting myself in the closest corner. Like I cannot cope with Johnny leaving anytime soon. I'm sorry, I can't.
I would. I mean, that would be the biggest move in Big Brother Canada history if he was gone this week.
I don't know. I think that
he's
Mitch
playing so low
out.
key that I can't wait till he becomes like this fiery phoenix where he's actually willing to make a move. I want to see it. I want to see it.
I mean, I want to see it as well because we've already talked about how I love chaos. But yeah, I think if you got him out this week while he's this demure sort of cat character, he reminds me of a cat, you guys.
I totally see it.
And if he pulls anything like Mitch did last season or the season before with the fake math, where Mitch in his pitch threw all these equations. Great. Oh my God, that was so great.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like Johnny's capable of it. So I want to see Johnny's back against the corner, but I want to see it like week 9. I don't want to see it anytime soon. I want to see it like in another month.
But you would respect it crazily if it happened earlier than that, right? Like if
of course, because I would get out Johnny in an instant.
Only if I think for me it would have to be respectable if people realize the move that they were making. You know what I mean? So they're not doing it just because he's up against someone like Erica.
Right.
And so they want to keep Erica over Johnny. Like they're getting Johnny out because they know that he's a big threat. And
and you know what? I think it actually goes back to the whole social capital. How you touched on. I think right now that's what people are focusing on. Getting people out that have social capital. And as much as we want to put down Plur and hate on, whatever her game, she has a little bit of leverage. She has Maddie, Paris, Will. She also has Hamza. That's social capital more than what other people have,
I don't hate on her social capital. She's got a lot of it. Right. I think that Johnny has arguably the most in the house. So at this point, if you were to knock him out in the double, I'm applauding the whole house for making that move, and I hope it happens.
I can't wait. I can't wait for our double eviction predictions.
Yeah.
So, what's kind of nice that I've noticed so far in the season? Because typically, after, the final noms happen and people know who's going out, that person tends to be ostracized and, created to be a loner. And people don't tend to talk to them anymore. But I haven't have we seen that this season? Am I just forgetting things? Because it doesn't seem like we've seen that too much.
Personally, I feel like Canada is far much evolved in every aspect.
That's a very good point.
So I would see them being very even in the game, I would see, even if someone's on the outs, there's still potential there. They're still thinking, you're not going to sit there and just ostracize someone and try to go with cattle, or try to be cattle and go with the shepherds. You want to see all opportunities. And that's the thing about Big Brother Canada compared to the US is that every player in the game is very savvy. Even if you're at the bottom of the totem pole, every player is always thinking about an opportunity for themselves.
And BB can.
In BB can.
In BB can, absolutely. So much more ruthless, so much more cutthroat, so much more advanced game wise.
Yeah, so I will say this about BB can versus BBUS, and I think it's important. I think BB can is a wonderful exercise in gameplay. What you see in BBUS is it's just mean spirited. They have the same sort of tropes in casting every season, and you see every time somebody is nommed, and they're going home, the house decides they're going home, they are ostracized.
Yes, and just by observation, I mean, this could be just me thinking out there. Do you think it has to do with the size of the house? Because how big the house is in Canada, there's so much space. I mean, the top floor is huge. The bottom floor, there's two. There's so much space so that everyone doesn't have to witness that person being ostracized. You don't have so much to prove in close quarters.
Yeah.
Okay, I get what you're saying. Yeah, that probably has something to do with it. Plus, just the fact that the BBUS, like the new Big Brother, it tends to, like, it's morphed into something to where if you are seen with this person, then you're going to be the next target. And because the people that go into the house that haven't watched really the show before, they see later seasons. That's what their gameplay emulates, is that, I can't be with this person because I'm going to be the next target, just like in past seasons.
I can't give somebody a hug because it might make me a target, which to me is ridiculous. I think you have to play the game on a human level, in that you can still interact with people on a human level, maybe not on a game level, even if you or that person are on the outs. I feel like, and that's something very important that we see a lot of in Big Brother Canada, where even though somebody's on the outs, there's a lot of mutual respect.
Big Brother Canada is the best.
I think it's been mentioned, like, every episode, like a friendship level versus a gameplay level, and that's so yeah, it's really refreshing.
Right.
Absolutely.
Should we go on to predictions?
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh man.
So we have a huge episode tomorrow, you guys. I'm so excited for it.
I personally think Veronica gets evicted. I think Veronica gets evicted, and I honestly, truly think that Hamza's going to win the freaking double.
Okay, who's he evicting?
I think that he's going to get out the showmance.
Oh, so one of Kayla or Derek? Name one, just to...
Kayla or Derek.
No, which one?
I feel like Kayla's going to go.
Okay. Because
she's more strategic, and Derek could integrate himself with Marin and Hamza and Will.
Okay.
I have a feeling, so I also think that Fleur's going to go. And I have a feeling that, like, Allie might win the HOH.
Me too. I have this weird gut feeling too. Yeah.
Just because, or it might be cool, like, to see Will. Like, see him win the HOH.
Oh God, really no! Please no! Please no!
As long as it's not like Marin or Ryan, I think I'm okay.
Or Will. I don't want to see Will. Just like, I don't know.
I think. Okay, so I agree that Plur, Veronica, Ronnie, whatever she wants to call herself, is going to go home, like all of you. And I think it would be great. It would be. I think Johnny might win the double eviction HOH. And then we might see somebody like Ryan go home,
or Maddie.
Yeah.
Or Paris. Who knows?
Yeah. We'll have to talk about. That's so much that they need to catch Canada up on in this next episode. We'll see how much they're able to get in.
What if, I'm so sorry, like, my head is just spinning. What if, like, Erica goes home?
Then I would again be applauding the house, because, like, I love her. She's my favorite person in the house, probably, game wise and what I know of her personality. But I think that's one of the biggest moves that qualifies as a big move to me.
She probably wouldn't, but yeah, that would qualify as a big move and a bold move. Big and bold.
Yep. Big, bold, and beautiful.
Hey.
All
right. Awesome. So we'll definitely be back tomorrow for the double. I'm so excited.
Let's do this.
So episode
Yes.
airs on the West Coast here at 6, which
Okay.
means that we'll start to podcast at like 7:15, 7:20. We had to do some test runs, so maybe 7:30. But either way, it's gonna be crazy.
Yep.
Whenever I'm in this chair, I always feel like I'm like a nominee. I'm like,
Oh no, you're making the nominees in that chair.
Yeah.
I love it. Awesome.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Peace.
See you tomorrow.